What's up, everyone? This is Christian Creasy.
I'm Lionel Chapman.
Ira Childs.
Welcome to the Trio Blood Podcast. In today's episode, we are going to discuss and give our review and our critique and thoughts on the recent successful Final Destination 6. Well, as we call it, as the title, Bloodline. So we are going to dive deep into it, gentlemen. Final Destination Bloodlines, which is the sixth installment of the horror franchise, is directed by Zach Leposky and Adam Stein. All right. It's been almost 15 years, I believe, since the last installment.
Yes.
And the last one was a prequel, Final Destination 5. So, what y'all think? I mean, let's dive into it.
Well, I want to say this before we dive into it. Bloodlines has the biggest R-rating horror opening in a decade.
Wow.
Ranking in 51 million domestically.
Nice. And
So,
how much?
That's pretty good.
And I think it's
damn
over,
good.
That's really good. And I think it's over 61 million internationally.
There
And
we
the
go.
movie was on a $50 million budget.
Oh, yeah.
Marketing, you can probably say, since social media, I mean, they probably didn't spend much on marketing, but it made its money back. It's making a profit now.
It definitely will.
It's making a profit. It's making some returns.
It feels like a new film.
Yeah.
It does.
A new film, refreshing.
Yep.
Yeah, new franchise, yep. Yes.
And I must say, once the Blu-ray and hard copy sales and the digital sales hit, that is going to make even more. So, man, but it's making history. I mean, it's the horror genre, man. It seems like it's starting to come back. It's better than the last couple of years. I mean, last year, I must say, some certain films we went to go see were good. Like Immaculate was good. The Omen, the first Omen and stuff was good. I mean, Sting was good. Abigail was good. Long Legs so-so for me, but still, it's still, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's on a rebound.
It's on a rebound. It's coming on a rebound, and we got more to come because Weapons is coming. I know what you did last summer. It's going to be hitting in the summer. Perfect summer movie. So I must say, horror is making it back, and shout out to Ryan Coogler for Sinners, man. He kicking it off. Now we got Bloodlines and shit.
This man just having a good old time over there.
Hell yeah!
All right, so let's talk about this family tree of the Campbell family. Iris Campbell.
I would say that the way that this take was approached to this installment, it kind of like take it back to where like really begins, you know, besides five, because man, she saved a lot of people.
She did.
And I think what I was getting from her, especially with Iris, that how a gift of premonition was like passed down through her family bloodline, like her granddaughter.
Yeah.
She was an interesting character, and this is the first time that we actually see death coming after a Pacific family.
Yeah.
You know,
The Reyes family.
yeah. So Iris Campbell is like, she sets the tone for the movie.
Yeah, she does.
So what do you guys think about Iris Campbell, about her character? I think she was well flushed out for me, well written as well.
Yeah.
So
You want to go ahead? It shows how in the beginning she was sweet and innocent,
yep.
and how all this tragedy made her into the woman she was in towards the middle of the end of the middle of the film. The woman she became, you know. I thought everything was great, you know, with the book,
Yeah.
you know, details of how to, if death comes your way, these things, this is the format,
Yeah.
you know, that you should use.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
She was well written for me. She's an example of trauma
Yeah.
how it changes people over time. You know, like Lionel said, she was this sweet, innocent young lady at the beginning, but once we meet her again, middle end, she's just like this super paranoid, hurt person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would say, I would say mostly if you look at all the Final Destinations installments, all of them were like normal and sweet people. Like in 3,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. What's her name? Because she's a well-known actress. Final Destination 3. Not Claire.
Excuse me.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who played Whitney. Whitney Christine, I believe, in Final Destination 3. Like, she was just a normal sweet character too.
Yeah.
And you have Kimberly in 2, also sweet. Even though Kimberly suffered grief from the loss of her mother, Claire Rivers, right? 2 was also a normal, but it's like you say, it shows that how trauma can change people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in Final Destination 1, we see our lead too, you know, who's also was changed. You know, he was a normal guy, normal teen, just ready to, you know, explore the world for Paris. And, you know, Alex ended up being
Browning.
Yeah, Alex Browning ended up being just like similarities to Iris. Locking themselves in a woodshed and, you know, trying to escape death and stuff like that.
Just imagine the characters that we haven't seen that she's seen get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? So I think Iris she did set the tone for this whole film. And I would say that this film had a good pacing. I was not bored from the beginning.
I said the same thing.
Yeah,
I
was
said
not
the same
bored.
exact thing.
From the beginning into the end, I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
I believe once we came out, I said I wasn't looking for the film to be over with. Previous installments, some be like, okay, damn, you know, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Is it over yet? But I didn't get that feeling from this one.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No. And just like you said, Lana, it's fresh. It's a fresh take. It's like 15-year gap, and it had a new spin on it too.
Yeah.
And stuff. So,
But I also think this one had a plot. The first 1 and 2 had plot, but everything in between, it was just kind of like, what's gonna happen next? Who's gonna get killed? How they gonna get killed? How gruesome? You know what I mean? But this one actually had a story, and you started to really invest in these characters.
you
know what I mean? So I think that really sets this one aside from the previous sequels.
Yeah. Because it felt like the first one.
It did.
Because when we meet, in the first one, we meet Alex, we meet his classmates, we meet these characters, these different people. And what happened when he got everybody off Flight 180, what sets the tone, what I definitely like when they was in the room, everybody's looking at him like a freak.
Yeah.
And how that ordeal set it up. It make you more invest. And it make you empathize or feel, you know, have a connection with Alex and with the rest of these characters. Because it's like, why you dub him as a freak and scare him, but he just saved your life. Even though it's for a short time, but yet he saved your life. Same with Iris. I felt for her like, man. It really got you paranoid, especially with your kids too. Kind of reminds me like sometimes like how parents could be overly parent with their kids, trying to shield them from the rest of the world. And just like in the movies, like life would get a hold to you one way. It finds its way to get you. Like, you know, it take you out of the picture. It's like she was having cancer. Spoiler alert.
But
I mean, we can't do the episode without talking about the movie. So the
Right.
whole thing is a damn spoiler. So I mean, if you ain't seen it, too damn bad. No, go see it.
But the things leading up to those events would have made me turn around, like the elevator, getting on, door not shut and closed.
Yeah.
I would never.
But you know what though? It's those signs, and we can possibly, you know, maybe touch on that too. sometimes there are the signs, but we choose to ignore those signs, in life. And that was one of the signs. Yeah. But, she kind of looked at it, but then again, she was like, whatever.
You know what?
Yeah.
That was a foreshadow.
Right. She didn't want to, they didn't want to get on, but they were kind of pressured on to getting onto the elevator by the elevator man.
And
yeah.
You know why I say it's a foreshadow as well, because when she got on the elevator, she looked to the side. She looked at the sign to see what's the capacity of people supposed to be on there.
Right. It was like, what, 1,400 pounds? 1,400?
Yeah.
I would never, ever, 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 like Chris Jericho would say, get on something like that. I don't give a fuck how tall it is. The closest thing I would actually take a visit was the Sirius Tower downtown Chicago. But other than that, it's just like you said, the first sign is like the elevator. Oh, this is a normal thing. What the fuck you mean it's a normal thing?
It's just open.
You just built it. You didn't test this thing. You didn't go through all the security measures and test this.
And she said it was built way before it was supposed to open.
No, it was 5 months ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule.
So it kind of felt rushed.
It was. Yeah. It was.
It's the time, like, for all you young people out there, this is why we say do not rush. We was all taught, do not rush.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick to grow up.
Yeah.
But the structure really reminds me of the Space Needle out in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The Jetsons too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jetsons, yep.
So I think they wanted to use the Space Needle, but obviously they couldn't, just like they wanted to use Great America and Part 3. But they was like, hell no, y'all can't do that because you're going to scare the actual customers, you know what I mean? So they just made it into a little carnival or whatever have you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say...
I wish they would have... go ahead.
No.
I wish they would have dived into the character, the little boy.
Yeah.
Since she saved him, you didn't see the boy again.
Yeah. For those you don't know...
You do see the boy again.
Not as a grown man.
Not as a grown... When?
You do. You don't know who that boy was?
No.
That little boy was Tony Todd.
No, not that one. We talking about the little asshole boy who was pitching pennies.
Okay.
What is he talking about?
I'm like, what the hell? What movie were y'all watching? Shit.
We know that.
Oh, okay.
No, we ain't talking about that little boy. We talking about the one that was being a dick. That little chubby little motherfucker.
Yeah, that flicked the penny.
Yeah.
We didn't see him, like
that was 5 donuts for being overweight and shit.
Right.
That little motherfucker.
It would have been nice to see him as a grown up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would have been interesting to see him as a grown up, how he was. But I just got to go with the impression that he was killed later on.
Yeah.
Or maybe, either later in his childhood or as a teen or as in later in his adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what I do love is the other little boy.
Yes.
That it was Blood, who played by Tony Todd, that was in the film. Mm-hmm. Which leads me also to this question. How do you think Bloodlines connect to the original Final Destination timeline, sequel or prequel? Now, me and Lionel watch a video from another guy that he says Bloodlines do not directly connect to the other films. I disagree.
I will say that too.
Because even though Final Destination 1 through 5 also have totally different characters, but Blood was within that timeline, and he's in this one. And what I was telling Lionel, that in the movie, when the Camels went to go visit him, we found out him and Iris was friends all this time. They was communicating, but he also explained this is how you beat death. Either you kill somebody or you kill yourself and commit, and get revived. But he said it's risky. He said the only person out of all these people, including the people that was on that Iris saved, was Kimberly. He mentioned Kimberly from Part 2. She was the only one and the cop that survived the whole ordeal, because, man, Kimberly had her vision, and 2, she realized it was her When she remember, and when they was in the hospital, she told the cop, "Get Dr. Clergy," because she got in the ambulance and literally drowned herself.
Right.
She flatlined, her heart stopped, and they revived her. Only person who didn't make it into was the little boy. So I say, I agree. It does connect, but just like everything else, like Iris probably knew. She probably read about in that book. I guarantee not just all the victims from people who saved from what's that tower? What's it called again?
Oh, it was the real life tower was the Space Needle.
The Space Needle or the replica.
I forget what they called it in the movie.
The Sky View.
The Sky View.
Yeah.
That she saved from the Sky View. How did she not know about Flight 180?
Yeah.
How she did not know about the route, the pile up, and the tragedy.
They actually on the map, the timeline that they showed pictures of
Flight 180,
not Flight 180, but
the pile up.
Yeah, the pile up and everything. So that's telling you they was finding it was a timeline of people was getting murdered.
Yeah.
Right. And so, go ahead.
No. And I must say, even though it probably didn't connect, that's why whoever you are, I disagree. It didn't connect, but it's still within the timeline. Even though each movie had its own set of characters too, they made references directly, but sometimes you don't have to. But then again, he did. Blood mentioned Kimberly.
Yeah.
He mentioned her name. So obviously it is connected.
It's connected. If Tony Todd is in the film, it's connected.
It's connected, right?
And the most obvious reason too. I mean, it was a shit ton of people in there.
Yeah.
This is different families from different places. This is a new thing that's happening.
Right.
Like, so people would fly in to the new Universal Studios and all of these things. So people are from every part of the world. So it has to be connected in that aspect. Along with when we saw the book placed on the wall, you saw all of these different, I guess, families or bloodlines.
Right.
So who's to say everybody from the movies that we see weren't directly connected to somebody that was in that building?
They could have been.
Correct.
You know? Because, like I said earlier, even in every franchise installment, it was a set of new characters anyway.
Right.
And everybody had their own families as well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it can, just like genes can skip one generation and goes to the next. So can death. Death probably was like, well, I'm not going to get your parents or your grandparents. Well, your grandmother saved you, but I'm not going to get her children. I'm gonna just get the granddaughter and the grandchildren, and and Iris is not the only one who had premonitions, as we saw everybody else did.
In the movies.
In the movies, had premonitions, and Tony Todd was just there to help them understand. Period.
Yeah.
So I think it is connected, because otherwise he would never mention Kimberly.
There you go.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He would never mention it, and he probably would never mention it, and he kind of mentioned the other ones without. I think he said it. People came to him before he said it to discuss this.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Is Final Destination scarier because there's no killer or just fate?
Oh, there's no killer. I think it is, because kind of like if you follow the YouTuber CZ's World, he did a timeline, and a recent one too, that how some of the real life activities kind of was similar to Final Destination, because I think it makes this franchise more scary, because this is everyday stuff that can happen.
Freak accidents.
Freak accidents. I can give you one, like a few months ago. I catched the Green Line. The Indiana stop is a block away from my house on the south side, right? Every morning, in the morning, I catch it to go to work. And the day when I wanted to catch it, the train lady was telling me, oh, you will have to do a detour because it derailed. And it derailed off the elevated track. Like 100, 200, 500 feet up. And I looked at I pulled up the news and I saw a picture. Half of the Green Line was off the track right on the street while the other part was hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
So this stuff happens. Then, like, what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or 7, that the Blue Line derailed?
Yeah, I remember that. And everybody came from underground looking all dirty and dingy.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I will say, to answer your question, yes.
Okay.
I will say, yeah. Because, like, sorry. I say yes because this happens every day. Like, people can slip, bust their head, like an icicle falls on you. And that, we heard stories about that. People died from falling icicle, choking on a chicken bone.
Yeah.
So all freak accidents, I definitely agree. That's more scarier than, somebody in a mask.
Yeah.
Plus,
Just never know.
look at the death traps.
Yeah.
The cars are literally a death trap.
Yeah.
And you more likely, that's why I don't have no problem riding roller coasters, because according to statistics, it's 1 in 15 million chance that you would die on a roller coaster. It is more high likely you would die in a car accident, because car accidents has the most frequent fatal fatalities ever, even more than airplanes. So, yeah.
So I think, go ahead.
Go ahead.
We need to go ahead and get to what everybody's been waiting for.
What?
The kills.
Okay,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
about to say that.
Yes.
The kills.
Which character do you feel the most sorry for? That you know?
I feel sorry for mom, Iris, not Iris, but her daughter. Let me pull it up. Her daughter,
While he's looking, I would say, I got a two-part.
Darlene Lewis.
Who did she play?
That's the character. Raya plays Darlene Lewis, who's Iris's mom in the film.
Okay.
I feel sorry for her because her trauma, she suffered from that, but also from her mom, locking her and her other siblings up in the house after their father died.
Okay.
Her death was heroic because she used the last of her strength to save her son in the film, and she got crushed. But yeah.
You, Ira?
For me, I would say Irene, because she had to die in order for her family to realize that she was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She isolated herself. She's been telling them this entire time, death is death, death is coming, death is coming, death is coming. But they didn't believe her until she sacrificed herself to make her point. So I feel sorry for her.
I felt sorry for Howard Campbell.
Okay. Yeah.
He seemed like just a guy who was traumatized as a kid and didn't have really a relationship with his mom. And then he had his own family. He's trying to keep the family together. And he ended up getting the way he got killed was kind of jacked up. You know.
Who I don't feel sorry for is the little boy. and here's why.
I don't feel sorry for that little
Because
shit.
he started it with the penny after the guy on the roof said, "Look, don't throw that down. You're gonna kill somebody."
Yep.
And he threw it down, and all of that transpired. He's the one that got away on the stairs, got all the way down to the ground,
Yep.
and the grand piano smashed his ass.
Yeah. I don't feel sorry. I do feel sorry, but it has to be my favorite kid was Eric when he got sucked into the MRI machine.
Okay.
Yeah, because he wasn't really related. We come to the truth that his mom was fucking somebody else.
Yeah.
You a half brother, bro.
Yeah.
But then again, he's still related because he still got part of their genes, you know. So, but I like it when the MRI, man, the MRI machine sucked his ass.
I was like,
Bit in his spine and sucking his ass in there.
that wasn't even the part that had me. The part that had me when the nipple rings. And,
Everything's just started coming off.
Yeah, I
that
was
reminds
like,
me of a Saw movie.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
Yeah, but that was my favorite kill. Any favorite kills in here?
Favorite.
Let me see.
Mine-
Let me see.
Mine still would have to be the little boy. That
The
would
grand
be-
piano follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to agree with Christian.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have to give because that's that whole kill. You got to deal with this coming out, and then you getting sucked in the machine.
Yeah.
You know, Irish, her premonition kill was pretty cool too.
It
Her
was.
falling on then
Yeah.
sharp object.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
Well, we already said that.
Yeah.
So we've touched a little bit on character. We touched on the actual kills in the film.
Keep going.
But what would you have to say about the ending?
I would.
I know me and you saw it, and as I think about it, I agree with you. The blood drop, premonition.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's something that she saw in her vision. You know,
So you saying that the ending basically could have been a premonition, not necessarily the ending for the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I would sum it up with just this: history repeats itself.
Okay.
You know, it's pretty much everything that happened to Iris happened to the granddaughter in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Outside of the kill. So it was kind of like a history repeats itself kind of thing. Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I think they both got it because I believe during the credits they have the paper, the local newspaper says they was killed. I believe I caught that.
Okay.
If not, I have to go back, spend my hard-earned more money, which is worth it, to watch it again and see. But I believe they were killed,
Okay.
and I believe so. I believe they was killed, but I love each throughout the film. They was not in the other sequels.
Yeah.
Like at the end with the logs coming from part 2, her Stephanie pricking her finger just like in part 5 and stuff like that. So I love all the recalls or the credits they was given.
Yeah.
Which why we say it's still connected in the timeline. It's just a new set of people, just like in every sequel. The only one who repeated is Tony Todd and Claire.
Yeah.
But before we end, though, I want to say that my very favorite part of the film is with Tony Todd. And it was his last time, I believe his last film that he filmed. And come to find out, the director said that they knew he was sick and they knew his time was running out. And even Tony, because he was battling stomach cancer.
Yeah.
And they asked him, what do you want to say? Forget the lines. What do you want to say to the fans? And what's in the movie, you can tell it was genuine and heartfelt. Like my gut was like, geez, his last line. And this is what we should all take in life, period. That spend every day like it's no tomorrow. Enjoy every moment with your friends, with your family. Enjoy everything. Don't take nothing for granted. If you are able to feed yourself, brush your teeth, do all these things, don't take it for granted because he's right. Life is short. So I'll end on that note. And
Let's just give a moment for Tony.
yeah.
We'll end it like that.
You know where to follow us. And check us out. Follow us on YouTube. And until next time, everyone, stay scary and rest in peace, Tony Todd.